That's right. It's another late night and time for another reach into the Just Giggle It grab bag. And tonight we're pulling out. Stand back, folks. I'm going to reach deep on this one. Rolling up the sleeve. I'm looking. I got. Okay. Yep. There we go. Oh boy, oh boy. Oh my goodness. You won't believe what it is. It's the problem with Facebook, in other words. The social not work. Just Giggle It sketch number 10. My oh my, there's a blast from the past for you. So how are we doing tonight?
Life isn't fair. I'm sorry, Dragon. I'm quoting the Social Network trailer. The Social Network trailer has a really morose version of Radiohead's "Creep" that actually makes its way into the sketch. But yes, I'm doing good. I'm doing good, Dragon. How about yourself? I'm sorry, that was a really random pull on my end.
Yeah, well, now we know what Scar's favorite song is.
Oh God. I could actually see Scar really digging "Creep." But I'm a creep. Anyways.
Anyway. That's right. Yeah, folks. This is one we've been waiting to do for a while, waiting for a special occasion, and boy, did we find one. Special occasion
Oh
to talk
yeah.
about. This is not just any ordinary Just Giggle It sketch. Far from it, friends. This is the very first Just Giggle It sketch. I know what you're thinking right now. You're probably thinking, well, that's not true. What about 912? Well, you're right. That is the first one you will find, but, fun fact, the first Just Giggle It sketch ever committed to film, ever, is this one. They shot them a little bit out of order, as you tend to do at times, folks. You shoot them out of order. They shot this, and of course, they would go on to shoot kind of multiples during a day of essentially the original lineup that you will kind of experience as you go through, chronologically through what's posted on Just Giggle It.
Uh-huh. Yeah. So, and Dragon, of course, to make this kind of a cool mirror image, what we're going to do is we're going to say, this is going to be the last live grab bag for some time. Now, make no mistake, folks, we're going to try some ways of commenting. We might be able to premiere the grab bags live to get some fan interaction there. They'll just be pre-recorded. But suffice to say, this is kind of the end of an era for the grab bag, not the end of the grab bag itself. I want to stress that. But it is the end of the Google Hangouts era of the Just Giggle It grab bag. This is the last grab bag we're going to be recording with Google Hangouts. It honestly feels weird saying that. So, Dragon, I think there's some cool symmetry with that. You know, the first sketch ever put to film, the last podcast ever recorded via Google Hangouts, at least for Just Giggle It. I don't know. I kind of like that.
Yep.
Okay. So I guess there's probably more background on this one than usual, Dragon. Do you have anything?
Well, yes and no. See, Just
All
Giggle
right.
It, they have a lot of interesting background, like kind of play close to the vest on this one for when they kind of they break it down. They're gonna have they're gonna at a certain point, Just Giggle It's going to be screening a few of their own sketches, and they're going to definitely be there's going to be a lot of fun stuff there. I'm sure. But what we do know about this one, as I mentioned, the very first Just Giggle It sketch shot. This was directed. This shows you. This is just going to show you how far back things are in the history of Just Giggle It. This is directed by Yuka. Freaking Yuka, man! It's directed by Yuka Kadono.
You see that name in the credits, folks. You know you've gone back.
Absolutely, the tipsy Mickey Rooney within the story of JGI, the one who's basically after a night of celebrating after the improv class of the UCB, it's just it's realizing like, hey guys, I got all this equipment, let's put on a show.
Yeah,
let's film some stuff together, man, and that's essentially the birth of Just Giggle It. Of course, with Joshua Thomas and Piper Henson kind of as the driving force behind Yuka, it's just kind of like, well, why not? It's very pivotal. Why not? I don't want them to sell it. So she directed this, as she did some of the very early JGI sketches. Of course, she didn't stick around that long. That's why it's such kind of a rare occasion. Like, oh my God, Yuka, that was a thing, right? Yeah, she was great. And this is written by not just Joshua Thomas for a change. It was written by Joshua Thomas and Ryan, I hope I'm not butchering this, Quijano.
Sounds legit. Sounds about right.
You know, spelled Quijano, but I'm assuming Quijano sounds cool and a little bit more exotic. I don't know. Quijano. Anyway, so the point is Ryan, the very same Ryan in the proceedings tonight.
Uh-huh.
So it's also edited by Joshua Thomas. Let's see. This is, and of course, a little fun fact here. So originally, this was just going to be called basically what we kind of like. The shorthand for this one is the social not work. And of course, I know that one always appealed to you. We were, folks. The funny thing about this, we were going to do this one way back during the first season of the Grad Bag. We were thinking about ending on this one, but things changed. And we just kind of kept having this is like the bad penny in a good way. It's kind of the bad penny of the JGI sketches we kept meaning to get to. Where we're going to do it at the end of the first season, then we're going to do it at the end of the Joshua Thomas season. Then we're going to work in the parodies along the way. And of course, like it just kind of something kept coming in, you kind of interrupting that in the flow. Something kept popping up or something like, well, maybe let's hold off on it, And of course, when we realized like the significance of this, like maybe I don't know, like Josh Jones said, why don't you do it as like the last grab bag? Yeah, I mean it's the last grab bag of a sort. So it's kind of worked out that way by fate intervening, one might say. But anyways, as I was getting on about the namesakes, it was called the social not work, but they added the problem with Facebook to kind of turn up the viewership on it. It's basically Facebook being kind of the hot button word at the time. Because remember, this is shot roughly 2013.
That makes sense. That totally makes sense.
I forget if it was posted in 2014 or not, but the point being, this is shot. I would like to assume it was probably shot and posted around that area. Because there's the 10th sketch. I can't remember where it kind of lands in kind of the releases of the sketches. So, point being, it's and of course the big sell line of the piece is like Facebook. Are you with it? Or against us? Are you with it or against us?
Ooh, cryptic.
So, Tiki, you might want to speak to something here because I know you're
Yes.
a huge fan of something that relates to Facebook.
Yeah, The Social Network is only one of my all-time favorite movies ever. No big deal or anything. I just find it.
Side note.
I just find it to be like a foundation for like narrative storytelling in the 21st century. But I mean, that's just me.
Yep.
To me, it's like the perfect biopic. It's the perfect movie. I could go on and on. I love
like your Chaplin.
Oh yeah, very much so. I mean, Dragon, I enjoy The Social Network on so many fundamental levels. Of course, we'll get into it with our next year. We'll be doing our top 100 movies of the 2010s, and rest assured, Social Network will be very high on that list for me. But like, I think the main reason I like it so much is that it has so much energy to it, and it's not like other biopics that just kind of go through the motion. Anyways, I don't want to trail off and make this a whole Social Network conversation because I could, but
I know you could. All right, anywho, I guess we should just get right into it. Let's start breaking it down.
Alrighty. So, Dragon, okay, this is going to sound so stupid.
Oh, I'm ready for that, by all means.
Okay, so this first scene we have like, let's see, it's like Poncio, Sagar, a couple others sitting around the table. Sagar, sorry, Sagar.
He's not a saggy man, Tiki. He's Sagar.
I see the two A's, and anyways, it's like, feel like it's like an emphasis on the A, not an emphasis on the Anyways, Sagar. Anyways, I'm sorry. So, one of the things I noticed, though, Dragon, is Sagar's character name is Tom.
Yes.
Now, Dragon, this is going to sound so fucking stupid, but when I saw Tom in this lineup of characters, my initial thought was like, oh boy, this is going to be a meeting of the internet personalities. We're going to have Mark Zuckerberg and Tom from Facebook, and Dragon, that's literally where I thought this was going when I heard the name Tom.
I gotta be honest, with the Social Network of it all, I did kind of go in with the assumption that, okay, it's going to be a parody of the Social Network.
Yeah, that's the thing. I thought it would be like actually about like Mark Zuckerberg and stuff like that.
But no, it's not. Anyway, so I guess, I'm sorry, before we even get into that scene, Tiki, we got to talk about just kind of covering the production quality, because, again, this is like kind of like the embarrassing baby photos of Just Giggle It to an extent. We get the judge
it's not that bad.
Well, no. What I mean is like this is kind of like it could go that route, and in
Yeah.
regards of this is like the early that we get to kind of praise the exceptionalism, but also say, oh, look at him look at the sketch stumbled, oh, ain't it cute? That sort of thing. Because I do want to acknowledge at the very start of this we have you might be able to speak as you remember Social Network a lot more in detail than I, where we have the opening of the sketch, we have some some jazzy music playing. And we have basically Social Network kind of typed in there. Of course, it changes the from network to not work. And you'll notice the music kind of. I want to say kind of the probably like the stored music on like a YouTube sound library or something. It's very kind of clunkily kind of transferred into the video. It's like I had to go back and check.
Dragon, trust me, it's better than anything I could do with audio editing wise.
I'm fully aware.
Audio is my kryptonite when it comes to editing.
I bring it up just in the sense of again just seeing how far they've come and how excellent they are in these things now, and just seeing again they were look how far they've come, that sort of angle,
Sure.
Anyways, then we have kind of our sit down of three of our four kind of main leads in this year. We have Rob, we have Tom, we got Ryan. Of course, Rob played by the wonderful Alexander Poncio, or as we love to refer to him as, Poncio! Poncio, we got Tom played by Saga Shea. We got Ryan Quinano. So let's see. So they're all on their phones as they're playing. It's poker night. And they're all on their phones.
That's honestly a good kind of like thesis image to start things off. Like that says a lot without saying anything. You know what I mean?
That it does. All right. So then, so let's see. So
apparently, there's a lot of likes coming in from an enchilada picture.
Apparently, the enchilada was big that year. 2013, the enchilada was big. Anyway, the whole enchilada, one might say.
All right, so we get this really surreal moment that I don't think was meant to be surreal at all, but it kind of is. So Joshua Thomas walks in. His character's name is Rob, Poncio's character's name is Rob.
Yeah.
Josh's name is Jerry. But Joshua Thomas walks in, addresses Poncio, and he's like, Rob, guess what? I just proposed to Alex last night. Dragon, I'm sure it's unintentional, and this is kind of like maybe an early stumbling block. Like, I don't know if they'd make this mistake now. And of course, Poncio then was not Poncio! It was just, hey, man, I'm Alex Poncio. You know what I mean? I don't know. Did that trip you up a little bit, Dragon? Just Joshua Thomas saying that he proposed, telling Alex Poncio that he proposed to Alex.
Well, before you realize who the actual Alex is and where they're getting that name from, they do reveal that it's going to reveal within the thing. Before we get to that point, it's a little bit, how quaint. It's proposed to Alex. Well, but again, let's get hung up on the little name semantics here. I mean, there are a lot of examples of names just pulled for the real guys, like Ryan Quinhano. That's where again, it's Ryan. 2 Ryans for the price of 1, that sort of thing.
Yeah.
But of course, with names too, by the way, Jerry's last name is Farrow, and of course, you have Carrie Farrow. Jerry to Carrie Farrow. It's a little bit of a reference to the old Carrie.
Right.
Anyway, so let's see. So Jerry arrives with beer, and he has news. He's proposed to Alex, and he gets a resounding yes. And of course, we woo. This is look at Poncio. Look at the youthful vigor within Alexander Poncio here. Look at it. Just look at the sheer enthusiasm, the sheer the comedic drive of the man. Just like the woo. No other actor would make that choice, and it's flawless. What he does there just adds a pep in your step, and it helps cement the tone of okay, these guys are buddies, and you kind of like them. You have this overzealous guy at the table here with all these woos. Like, okay, I'm sold. Let's see what these guys are going to get into. Very effective. So they're all friends. All congratulations. They introduce Rob introduces his new pal Ryan. Everybody.
Oh God.
And no, not Ryan Gosling. That would be videos later.
Oh my God, that would be amazing if it was. If they connected it like that.
Yep.
Oh man, talk about a shared universe at that point.
Absolutely. One could say Ryan Gosling was so method he became Ryan Quinhano, if you want to
Oh
go
my
that
god.
route. Or
Sure,
the more,
let's go. Dragon, let's go there. I'm all in on that theory.
or I'm going to double it down here, just getting the piggyback off your ridiculousness. Okay. Nicole Dubois, early on, before Just
Oh
even
god.
knew
Oh
who she
god.
was. She's actually been there the whole time playing various other members of JGI in
Oh
various different
man.
eras. And then she finally says, I'm going to go as myself. And then she got the role in her own accords for Harley Quinn. Of course, speaking of Harley Quinn, just really quick.
Wow.
Of course,
Wow.
Nicole.
That was ridiculous, but I applaud you for it.
Worth mentioning Nicole Dubois, we also must mention she plays an excellent Harley Quinn on Harley Quinn the Joker vs. the Real World.
Joker versus the Real World. Yeah. Watch episode 5, folks. You'll love it.
Absolutely. Seriously, folks, you'll watch the show, you'll get hooked on, you're going to get to episode 5, and you can be, oh man, I want episode 6. Episode 6 is done, folks. It's ready and waiting for you. All you got to do
Episode
is.
7 seems like it's getting close to being done at this point.
Folks, soon the whole season, the whole first season is going to be at the ready and just waiting for us all here. And it all hinges on us getting episode 5 up to 1 million views. And it's already halfway there. So stop dragging your feet, watch it, enrich your lives, share it to your loved ones, and just get it out there. Get it out in the stratosphere. What do you say, folks? Make it rain quality. Anyway.
Indeed.
Okay, getting back on point here. So the point being to introduce Ryan. We have this really fun acting choice here by Ryan. Here, Ryan is shaking Jerry's hand. It's just this continued shake. It just doesn't break off. He's just shaking his hand all friendly, and I love that there's like a little twinge of okay, there's something not right here. Basically, it's like tipping its hat to okay, this is the absurdity within the sketch here. Well, this guy's waiting. He's hinging on this very specific moment.
Mm-hmm.
Especially on the rewatch, this holds up here. He's shaking his hands. Hey, Jerry, what's your last name? Of course, hinging on the last name, Pharaoh. He types away on his phone, Pharaoh and everything. Of course, what he's doing is he's sending a friend request. And if you look, Jerry does get like a little blip on his phone, but he just puts it away. And of course, that's the friend request.
Oh, shit.
We know it was sent, and it was like put in his pocket. So he knows, okay, he's going to wait on it.
Oh, man. But does he wait on it, Dragon? Perhaps he waits a little too long. We'll find out. Ooh.
Perhaps. Anyway, so later that night.
Yeah, we cut away to basically it's like the end of a punchline to a joke that Ryan is telling, like, and I said, please.
No.
I'm sorry.
I mean, it's at nighttime. Where Ryan at night, where he's looking at the Facebook profile.
Oh yeah, right. Yeah.
He's looking on the status of the request. And he's still in the kind of the gleeful, like, oh, he's in the optimistic, like, oh, sure, he's just taking his time. I believe my read on was that he kisses the screen. And he says, "Good night, Jerry. Nice to meet you."
Oh God.
The eye, like you basically transfers a kiss to the screen to the picture of the guy. It's all creepy. It's like, oh my God, this is.
All right, now I'm just imagining an episode of Rick and Morty where one of the multiverse Ricks gets like way too attached to Jerry.
Like Simple Rick.
Well, no. I'm saying beyond Simple Rick. I'm saying like Stalker Rick.
Oh God. Someone has to keep Stalker Rick away from that daycare of Jerry's.
Oh God!
A massacre! Oh my goodness! If something doesn't work out with the one Jerry, has like a whole battalion of Jerry's.
Oh God!
Jerry Palooza, right. Jerrymageddon. Anyway, so no, there's points like it's the night of, and he's still optimistic. Well, good night. Yeah, it's either that you can look at it in the flip side of like. Good night, sweet prince. I'm glad to have known you. He's trying to like start off. Like, he's trying to save face. Like, you know what? Just I put myself out there and it bombs. It's a question of how optimistic you view that. And I view it as optimistic. Anyway, the one being to night falls, and let's see. So night falls. Then a week or so later, it sounds like it's a week later because it sounds like checking. It's like probably like the weekly poker night being the idea. It's like a week or whenever the next poker game is. We then come in the middle of the punchline.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, we have the middle of the punchline up. And I said, lady, please, I have kids.
God, I have no idea what that joke is.
Right?
So then,
honestly, Dragon, one of the improv games I was playing in class was coming up with punchline, and then with punchlines, and the other person would have to come up with the joke.
Right.
Anyways.
Reminds me of the Men in Black gag with Kay, where basically Kay's telling him there's like a really dirty joke about popcorn, and like, but honey, he's eating my popcorn. When we just come back from like the generalized, and it's just the whole like, yeah, well, what's going on here? Who are you? So, yeah, son, you're a bright young man. You gotta lay off the sauce. That whole. Anyway, point being. So then Jerry walks in, bringing the beer and stuff. Please bring the beer. The point being, Jerry's coming in again. Jerry arrives, and then Ryan breaks down.
Oh my god.
Ryan
he
breaks
runs
down.
away in a huff.
Yeah, but says, "Hey Ryan, how you doing, buddy?" Just running. Basically, everything Jerry says. I love just the direction in the scene where everything Jerry says makes Ryan break even more. It's just like nothing, Jerry can't do anything right. He's just atomizing Ryan as every response he has to Poncio in this coming scene here.
All right, so Poncio's just like, he's trying to keep it simple. He's like, so Jerry, was your internet down by any chance?
No.
And then he's just like, okay, well, did you by any chance just not go on the internet this week? No, I go on the internet every day.
Of course, in the background, you hear like the whimpering getting worse too when he answers no.
I go on the internet every day like everyone else in the world. Don't you dare compare yourself to everyone else in the world. Dragon, this is where Poncio. This is like Poncio's very first Alexander Poncio.
I have an example
like he's
here.
Bringing it, man. He's bringing it.
You know what Poncio's kind of tone in this scene reminded me of? Just like love the restrained, like kind of civil questions before he just breaks like that. It's like I call this Coen Brothers Poncio. I would. This is it's very much. I mean, the more accurate comparison. It feels like Coen Brothers John Goodman in terms. That's kind of Poncio.
Yeah.
It's like John Goodman in The Big Lebowski, where he has like that restrained, like civil demeanor about him before he just kind of goes off and rants and raves, but always has like that. It's okay, Donnie. These men are cowards. That whole thing. Where I love it. It's just that restrained hostility that then comes out. Don't you dare compare yourself to other people. Oh boy. Anyway, so let's see. So everyone else in this world, of course, you didn't accept Ryan's friend. Just this so the conviction behind the absurdity here, where it's like you didn't accept Ryan's friend request, did you? Are you serious? Do you not like Ryan? Does Ryan disgust you?
Ryan disgust you? That right there is the Alexander Poncio.
If I may, Tiki, leave it to the professionals. Alexander Poncio.
All right. There we go.
Poncio.
Oh God! All right, I think the whimpering is new, Dragon.
Alexander Poncio. Anyway.
It's like Poncio is just like so overwhelmed with how beautiful he is that he has to whimper when he says his name.
No, I mean the people that Poncio touches within his life of just Poncio walk. Imagine like a sequence in the day where Poncio just like happy-go-lucky stroll down the walk, having a leisurely walk. Is hello, how do you do? And he's kind of walking around there, basically kind of the Dom DeLuise of today. He's kind of walking around, says hello, how do you do? Just making his way down the street, and you have like women and children like, oh, it's you, mommy, who's that? That's Alexander Poncio.
Oh my God.
Just like pat him up.
Oh God.
Like, oh son, you don't know who that is? That's Alexander Poncio.
That's Poncio. Oh God. Okay.
Anyway,
we have our whole little headcanon for Mr. Poncio's life right here, man, and it's getting to be a little disturbing.
A little fanciful, to be honest here. Anyway. Okay, no seriousness. Getting back on point, if we may, here. So,
yes.
The point is like Rob is putting Jerry in his place here, and Jerry's response to all this is then why? Point is like no, it's not true. I don't just he's fine. I like him fine. Why did you not accept his friend request? Okay, this is where we establish the comedy here. Okay, so Joshua Thomas is playing Jerry as the sane man in the room here, pointing out how ridiculous this conversation, this premise is. Do you realize are we actually having this conversation? That ridiculous this is, and of course, then Ryan re-enters the scene, and of course, in front of Jerry here, and Jerry asks, everything Jerry's doing in the scene is wrong. This is Ryan, were you crying? And then he starts to break again. Then Rob, again, very John Good. very John Goodman-esque here. He consoles the crying Ryan, and like he's like feeding him like the solo cup of beer or whatever is
Oh my god!
And just like, pretty much like suckling him from the cup practically. It's like, Jerry, I think it'd be best if you left, if you leave.
Oh god, it's so ridiculous, Dragon. It's so ridiculous.
Okay, so then there's okay, guys. I think it's all just getting blown out of proportion. Then enter. Okay, here's another problem I have with the episode. Here, you get a minor problem.
Okay.
I again, I'm just going to check them on their youth here. So Tom enters, and then he walks in. There's a really great fluid motion by Sagar here. He walks in, and basically, I think he drops whatever he brought, like chips or something. He was bringing something there, and he drops it. Like little.
I do love that bit because Sagar can just like instantly read the air in the room. You know what I mean? He's just like, oh shit.
He does, but again, here's the problem. So again, he does that. He just drops things like perfect little cue there, and then we're missing a joke. Yeah, cut from the final reel, and I don't know why. Because we cut from just that, so he doesn't say anything. We don't see what happens in that scene. We don't see like what the gag is. Like there's only like it's a half gag. It's like okay, visual gag followed
Dragon,
by.
It's funny that you mentioned this because I read the gag as literally just like Sagar walking in and like he doesn't even have to like no one has to say anything. Like he knows what the situation is and he's offended by it.
Even so, Tiki, even if that's the intent, which again, if they're going that route, that's fine. That still would play. But the problem is, it's still the way it edits from that scene to the other. Like you don't have that moment land. It just kind of goes from that scene to like, and you just him like driving, like driving to the bank. It's like there's just something a little sloppy in that. Again, early, yeah, it's the first sketch. I'm not going to hold them too accountable for that. I'm just saying, seeing leaps in, just seeing how strong they are in the first round already. It's just showing that again, the edit. Josh Adonis wasn't at his editing prowess that we know him for today. Quite yet,
Oh yeah.
Little thing to kind of check it on here is kind of seeing it. He's looking back on things. So, all right. Speaking of that scene, so Jerry's going to the bank to submit the paperwork for a loan for a new house for he and his fiancée.
Oh boy,
With a wonderful character.
This just ramps up the absurdity here.
We have Emma the banker, played by the incomparable Piper Hinson.
Oh yes! Oh my God! Her very first Just Giggle It sketch on camera,
and playing just kind of a proper English banker lady, a loan officer of a bank, if you want to be technical, but bank.
Yes. So, okay. Well, Mr. Farrow, there have been some holdups. What do you mean?
I'm sorry, Tiki. I hate to cut you off there, but you hit one of the most clever, subtle gags in the whole thing.
Okay. Go ahead.
Okay, so Jerry's going in there asking, so where are we on things? Like, how's the paperwork going, basically establishing what he's there for, and just, well, Jerry, again, it's all positive, like, well, Jerry, and then she looks at the screen, she's looking at the thing she has pulled up on her computer, she kind of stops with Jerry and says, Mr. Farrow. It goes from Jerry, all friend.
That's great.
It goes from Jerry, all friend. Like again, the idea is like in that moment of confirming the thing that she thought. In that moment, she was this whole thing was going to go a lot different. It was going to go a lot more swimmingly for Jerry until that realization of Mr. Farrow. It's never a good sign. Then she goes on to say there have been some holdups, and despite Jerry being all ready to go and everything, I thought you said we were all ready to go.
That's the thing. We were all ready to go, but then it turns out that you didn't fill out one thing. You didn't accept the mandatory social approbation. And what is that mandatory social approbation, Dragon?
Is it approbation or is it application? Because I assumed it was. I could be wrong.
I thought it was approbation.
I mean, that sounds right, but I mean, logically, I'm assuming application. But you're right. I mean, I think you're right, but I don't know. I see. Point being, it's the fact that she didn't like him on Facebook. She didn't like the bank on Facebook.
Oh God. Then Dragon, I love Joshua Thomas's delivery here.
Yes, this is so good.
Okay. Please, for the love of God, tell me that you're joking right now. I won't be mad. I just need to know that this is a joke. You can't be serious.
Yeah, this is an example here of Just Giggle It kind of firing Volsons even at the start here. And they know how to hit that beat there. We're okay. Ordinarily, we just roll with it when that's how an ordinary sketch would go. But no, we're going to have a moment where, okay, he's going to really call the sketch and like the reality here. We're going to reality check it here. Where, please tell me you are joking right now. Just please, I cannot take this. And we're planting the flag of, okay, guys, this is going to keep going, but but here's the difference. We're not just going to have it keep going until it's illogical. And like many sketches do, we're just going to have that flag planted. We're okay. Our guy is deteriorating on the intrinsic logic of the sketch. That's where we're going to differentiate things, and we're doing that wonderfully here. And of course, Piper ends up not missing a beat here. Says, "Well, the bank has rules, and you're going to have to refile them," which leads to a really well. This I think is one of the best. This can sound so small and so minimal, but this is I think one of the best shots in the whole thing. If I'm being frank, we have the files put on the table here, like the stack of forms and paperwork and everything, and we have like this rack focus shot. Like, oh man, it's a really good shot. The long table and everything looks really, and we just see we rack focus from from the files to Jerry's crestfallen expression. It conveys all within a shot. Then we exposit that. I worked 6 months on that paperwork, and I need to close the deal by next week so we can get the house. So obviously, this does not suit Jerry's needs.
Have some compassion.
And then here we go. Perfect line from Emma here.
Right. Oh, Mr. Pharaoh, I don't think you're one to talk about. You're one to talk to when it comes to compassion. I always accept
my Facebook friend request.
Oh God. And then we get a little bit of a reveal, Dragon. What's that reveal?
As she leaves the room after that mic drop moment, Jerry, he rushes to the other side. I gotta see what. No, please don't tell me. I think he knows what it is. He just wants to make sure. Please, no. He goes and he sees her Facebook profile is pulled up. And not only that, we reveal Emma and Ryan are buddies. Like they're drinking buddies.
Oh man!
I gotta tell you, I gotta be honest. I'm very interested by Tiki when we do that cinematic universe, that sketchmatic.
Yes.
Or sketchmatic. And the point being,
we haven't ever talked about it, but I like sketchmatic universe.
The point when we get to the sketchmatic universe, I want. Oh god, Ken Armand and
Ken Armand, yes.
I love Ken Armand, Upside Down Poncio, but again, at the very least, Ken Armand and Emma the banker here. Emma the banker, I love that she's just this exciting life off to the side. She's drinking buddies with Ryan. She's just she's kind of prim and proper. She's very strict when it comes to banking regulations. Like this is the kind of lady I'm sure would love to deal with Kim Wexler.
Oh yeah.
Anyway, the point being, this is where we kind of establish two things. So one, there's actually something really clever within the whole 6 months thing where he's just trying to close the deal on the home. We have that line in there. We established this in the banking and the whole he's trying to get our house for him because this facilitates the punchline of the whole piece right here. The fact that he's going to be lacking a home right now. Very important. And again, this is where we're shifting into the darker implications of the premise with all the stuff here. Again, like hope is just kind of being deflated from the balloon. All right, so then we get into the third act of things here. We go home again, Tiki. Jerry goes home, and before Jerry enters the door, we see Alex, played by Alex Hensley. Alex Hensley, of course, we've seen before. Here's the thing. I knew I saw her before, but I couldn't place the sketch, and I feel embarrassed now because Alex Hensley, she was in she was in the sketch we talked about during the Josh Tomathon, the On the Way Out sketch. She was the girlfriend in that. Remember the one who you give the walking papers for the relationship, that whole thing. Anyway,
right.
The point being, that whole thing. So we've seen her. I've seen her in this before we went to that. So it kind of oh my god, yes, I've seen her before. Of course, that's where they get the name Alex from, presumably. But just be sure. I doubt it's completely coincidental. Like, come on. All right, so she's looking at Jerry's computer, and then, of course, as she hears Jerry return, she quickly kind of pulls a little sly switcheroo of the computers here. Seems like, oh, hey, how's it going? Just doing her own stuff there.
Yeah.
Maybe you'd like to take us through this part?
Oh, yeah, sure. Okay, so, she's basically just like, she goes on, I'm sorry, where are we exactly?
He just came home. She switched the computers.
Sorry about that. Right. She switches the computer. Yeah, sure. Okay, so he says, like, man, I've just had the worst day. And Dragon, I love how supportive she is right here. It's just like, he's just like, oh, baby, come here and let me give you a massage. And you can tell me all about it. Dragon, that's the kind of woman I want, Dragon. But let's not,
What I think the point being, I really seriously, just to kind of shout her out for a moment here. Alex Hensley, she's really quite wonderful. And those 2 sketches that we've seen her in, at least the ones I can recall at this moment, she might have been in more for all I know. I've really responded to her. I think she's great. I really do. In that other sketch, she was tremendous, and here she's also really good. So, I mean, again, I know she hasn't stuck around with the company of JGI. I say company in the sense of just kind of the not in the sense of like the grander corporation that is Just Giggle It, but I mean just kind of like the company of that.
Right.
You just get it's gone really corporate, gone the way.
You have to wonder if Just Giggle It has its own Mike Michaud fucking things up from behind.
Okay, perhaps. Okay, maybe we shouldn't speculate that negatively about things. That's little... Okay. Anyway, the point being, all serious though, it's regardless, I'd be love to see her back at some point, but I'm sure she's moved on to bigger, better things like some of the other people who just gave up. All right.
There should be a sketch where like all the old people come back.
Well, remember, they're actually, I don't know if it's going to come together, but they're actually working on that. It's an idea was pitched, so we'll see if it comes to fruition. If it does, that's the one we have to do. That's when we have to do the cinematic universe pitch.
Oh yeah.
If that happens, when that happens, if they do a heightened on that, then we're going to come in with that. We're going to have our theme month of all the meta JGI stuff. Anywho. Sorry, okay, points he's come back and she's very sympathetic. We have this I love the cutesy posing here. He sits between her legs and he's all coddling her and everything. It's adorable. So before he tells her about the rough day that he has, before he regales Alex in the ridiculous day that he's had, he goes on his laptop in plain view and he friends Ryan.
Oh boy.
So Tiki, in theory, sketch over, right?
Yeah, it seems like that would be a nice wrap-up.
Wrong!
God.
You are wrong, sir, because what happens here is Alex then gets on his case about the other hanging Chad, if you will, about the engagement status.
We are not just in a relationship anymore. We are engaged.
She brings it up so coy, so innocently, though. Just like, you know what? This is why you're doing stuff. I just kind of figured, your status. Of course, the thing she was looking in on earlier. It's less the whole Ryan affair. It's more the whole, your status hasn't really changed in the relationship. And of course, her status is like you engaged. So this is where like the psychological torture is beginning here. Where it's like he's lingering on it. Like I love what she's doing. Here's why I love Hensley. He's like I love the cutesy eye motion. He was like motion like, hey, go on, do it. Change that.
Right.
Without a word said, just like nudging him.
Okay, Dragon. Here's the thing, though. What you mentioned this, but I want to expand on it. Yeah, you're absolutely right that this is kind of just his breaking point because he's been so bombarded with totally unjustified Facebook freakouts and terrible Facebook related things. But Dragon, the ironic thing is, I don't think this is unjustified at all.
I'm with you.
Yeah, I think that it's not like she's being a total bitch about it.
No, she isn't. She's in the right. I don't blame her.
Yeah, she's totally in the right.
At the very least, even if she's not, it's like such a small request.
Right. But like I said, I think it's kind of like the psychological horror of dare I say, like a one bad day sort of scenario where, just Facebook has just pummeled this poor guy so much that he can't take anymore.
It pushes him too far. It's a bridge too far. No! This does not matter! And then, of course, this doesn't matter. Of course, of all the wrong things you can say. All the wrong things to a fiance, nonetheless. This does not matter. She says, "Oh, okay, doesn't matter." She takes the ring off. This doesn't matter, and this doesn't matter. So she and the ring don't matter apparently. And then she storms off, presumably packing his bags and everything. And he says, "Babe, it's just Facebook." So wonderfully pathetic. And then we have what I like to call the Odd Couple shot here. It's just like the opening of the Odd Couple TV series, where you have the ideas they recap the premise of the Odd Couple in the TV series, like an Oscar Madison and Felix Unger were basically asked to leave, or thrown out, or asked to leave by the request. And that request came from his wife. That whole thing where she hands Felix the frying pan and everything as he's out the door, and that's pretty much what we have here. Where just like he's out the door holding the ring and everything. A really good shot where he's just holding the ring in front of his face, and we just cut to him outside standing, holding the ring in front of his face, like he's still stupefied by what has just happened. So then he walks off into the fade out essentially, and then 2 weeks later, as we learned anything, Tiki, weeks later are not good for this character. Weeks later are death for this character in the literal sense in this case. So describe the predicament Jerry finds himself in. What's Jerry's current living situation, Tiki? Don't spare any details.
He's literally down in the dumps, Dragon. He's living by a dumpster, presumably in an alley or something. Let's see. He's still got his laptop, but he's just like stupid Facebook.
He's covered in dirt. He's got ripped pants and everything, and he's just kind of sleeping before he's woken up by like a guy throwing.
I also presume that they actually shot this later because he's got like some 5 o'clock shadow showing.
And of course, like throwing a bottle to wake him up. And of course, I love like he has like the little. I love this. It almost seems like he's so anti-Facebook that it's just he's putting his status on Facebook in cardboard. It's just newly single. It's written in cardboard like one of those the old vagrancy things. The old,
Yeah.
Anyway, so
and also importantly, Dragon, like I said earlier, the song that's playing over this is a very quiet instrumental rendition of "Creep," which was used in the teaser trailer for The Social Network.
So, despite I gotta be honest, just yet I did ask them in advance, given your proclivity for Social Network, I did ask, are there any direct parallels to The Social Network? And honestly, what I think happened is they kind of forgot here, because there are 2 direct references to The Social Network with that song and the gag that we're about to get into. So there are some minor, more references than parallels, but regardless, but here's something really cool that we don't have on any of the other Just Giggle It sketches, to my knowledge. At least thinking that offhand here, seeing how early it's such kind of a prototype sort of thing for them. They had credits play. We had a post credit sequence going through. I mean, not going throughout the whole thing here. The credits are playing over the events.
It's almost kind of like a Frasier credit scene.
Well, sure, but if it was silent, because Frasier's post credit, they never had any dialogue playing over. It's always like, I don't know what to do all this time. And scrambled eggs. Anyway.
But I'm saying it's still like a gag that's kind of playing over the credits.
You're right about that, yeah. So, dirty and destitute, our young Jerry checks the computer. And this is where we get into the Black Mirror twist of it all here, folks. So, I honestly kind of like to read a scooch further. It doesn't have to be this. It kind of plays both ways, but I like to view it as, given what happens at the end of all this, I like to think that Facebook is playing even more diabolical psychological mind games with him here, where he's seeing the alternate reality. If he had just friended Ryan, what would have happened? Where he's hanging out with his friends, where he's shaking hands with the bank, with Emma the banker, which implies the loan went through, and he's with the girlfriend, with the fiance, which implies that, again, you could look at that, where you could look at, okay, these are old photos of things back when they were successful, but still they're being pulled up by Facebook diabolically. So right. But I'd like, it depends how otherworldly you want to get with it. The point being, so, but then we get to the.
I just kind of read it as his mind kind of playing tricks on him.
That's fair, and then we get to the point where now things are definitely getting to that Black Mirror space here. Okay, so now
there's like pictures being posted of him in the alley,
like very much now, it's just very scary. Like, oh God, it's watching. It's there. Who's taking these pictures? And then of course, what is his solution to all this?
Very simple, Dragon. He'll just delete his Facebook, of course.
You hear me, Eisenberg? I mean, Zuckerberg.
That made me laugh out loud, yeah. And indeed, Jesse Eisenberg is indeed a very direct reference to The Social Network, of course.
Exactly. So then, of course, he deletes his Facebook, and...
oh, yeah, I'm goddamn sure.
And in doing so, he just, ploop. He basically, the second he hits the button, so he hits the enter button or whatever, he disappears. He deletes himself out of existence. Then we have like a little kind of cautionary warning, a little cautionary memoriam up on the screen here. It says, in memory of those who decided to delete their Facebook.
Oh my God.
Oh, guys, pretty much, it's kind of an Infinity War, pre-Infinity War, one could say. Maybe Just Giggle was that forward thinking. It's just kind of like the less ashy version of the ending of Infinity War. It's like, what if they all simultaneously deleted their Facebooks? Maybe that's it.
Right. Oh God. But then, Dragon, interestingly, the very last thing we see in the sketch is the JGI search bar.
And I love this, the retroactive, what we've done here is, if you want to read into it, which I'm fully able to do, if you want to read into it, you could say that, oh God, in the death of Facebook, or at least in kind of the deterrence of Facebook, or in basically Facebook being this all-encompassing, is them taking the reins, as we see what's done to our poor character Jerry here. It then directs us to Just Giggle It, to the search engine, to, again, if you go by the way it was shot, this is the first time you ever see the Just Giggle It search engine, not at the start of the sketch, but at the very end of the sketch. This is the secret origin of the search engine in the chronology.
Oh my God.
In the continuity of all the Just Giggle It sketches. Ooh, right?
I love it. I love it. That's great.
And if you want, I know Jerry Farrow. I know he appeared. That name on Facebook too, by the way, appears in another Just Giggle It sketch. I can't remember off the top of my head right now. I know it does appear. So again, there's a little bit of continuity there.
All right. Nice. Okay, so final thoughts, Dragon. Go ahead.
Final thoughts for me. This is a really clever satire. It's as Just Giggle It kind of said also. It's more relevant now than ever. If you really look at it, one with kind of the social media fixation of today, that was kind of like definitely not in its infancy, but definitely kind of like at a boom in 2013, let's say. And now even more so, definitely social media as a whole is, let's use now, just kind of like everyone's under like the scrutiny of the microscope that is social media, and to umpteenth extremes. And of course, a more recent correlation is actually funny, just by Tiki, by sheer coincidence, or if you believe in that sort of thing, by sheer coincidence, I was starting to watch a documentary on Netflix called The Great Hack. It didn't make my memoirs because it didn't make my memoirs because I was halfway through and it kind of lost me in terms of, I thought it started off great, but then it just kind of like, nothing against it. I think it was just my taste, where it's like, a little too political for my taste. Okay, well, we kind of lost me with a very fascinating sell of the idea of Facebook had tapped into people's interest, and that was kind of feeding into kind of basically people's kind of interests were being tapped, and that would lead to kind of election results being the idea. The point being, people were being spied on through Facebook. So the point is the leaks in Facebook security. Again, Facebook being kind of this watching you and kind of being this omnipresent force, again, very relevant. I feel, looking at the sketch itself outside, like, what does it mean? It's proof that JGI had the X factor right out the gate in many respects. I mean, you kind of see, it's kind of funny looking at how well Poncio and Joshua Thomas play off of each other. And honestly, folks, on the Discord page, which, by the way, if you're not on it now, Just Giggle Discord page, you want to mingle, you want to chat with Just Giggle It itself, chat with Joshua Thomas, Poncio, Alexander Poncio, and Piper Hinson, the whole shebang. You want to talk to the fine folks, Just Giggle It. Discord page, can't go wrong there. You can instant message them. It's a lot of fun. And talk with other people who are big fans of stuff like yourself. Find people on the Discord, some of the most creative and nice people you'll ever meet. Regardless, Discord page, they were kind of speaking to. They were posting some old improv stuff with Poncio and Joshua Thomas back during the San Antonio years, and some really funny sketches there. And that's the thing, kind of takes you back here, where you get to see just them bouncing off of each other so well. During that, why did you not? Why did you not send Ryan? Why did you not accept the friend request? That whole thing. And you get to see them just kind of like it's kind of the ragtag element of these really creative people come together, and again, you see the chemistry there. Again, there might you see some of the edit. Yeah, you have some of the editing and the technical things aside. Again, a little shaky at first, but again, it's the first sketch. Again, they've come leaps and bounds ever since the first sketch. There, even going back to some of the other stuff they would do after this one. So again, it's first one out of the gate after the whole hey, let's just do stuff versus having a legit plan for things here. And the sketch, it highlights Joshua Thomas as the lead. We have we have we kind of have a solid plan forming for a sketch within itself. Where again, they have we're dialing up to 11. We kind of have that factor kind of built in there. We're just going to keep it going and going and going, and just the comedy hurdle it just keeps on going, and it just keeps getting stronger and more and somewhat darker. But again, the comedy is never lost in what they're doing here. And again, so the plan is kind of formed by the end of things, I guess is what I'm saying here. They have we know where we're going with this, but let's just amp it up as we go, and just kind of we kind of see how it's kind of ravaging our character here. And then I don't know if this is necessarily the birth of all of that, but again, it might be. Who knows?
Yep. All right, so I guess that is it, folks. And like I said, like I emphasized earlier, we might even take a little bit of a hiatus from the grab bag for a week or two while we figure out exactly what we want to do. We might have one next week. We haven't really thought that far ahead yet. But from the bottom of my heart, folks, thank you guys so much for watching not just this one, but for watching all the JGI grab bags over the, like a year and a half, 2 years that we've been doing this at this point?
It's about right. Definitely a year, maybe a year and a half. But yeah, and of course, folks, just to show our appreciation, operative word, Tiki.
Yes,
Show our appreciation to fans out there kind of giving a crap about what we have to say. By all means, tomorrow, Wednesday, mark your calendars before the end times have come, before they shut the lights off in regards to Hangouts. That's right, folks. Facebook, as the sketch will lead you believe, is not the only ominous force in the works right now. Google Hangouts is going the way of the Western, I'm afraid. Sad as it is to say, fingers crossed that there's like some miracle exception that might save our sinking ship here. Maybe there's a life raft in there somewhere, but I can't make any promises. Point being, folks, don't shed a tear for us. We got contingencies at the ready again, as we said. We'll be posting stuff again, as Tiki said at the start here. We'll be putting content out. Hopefully, we'll be having some live interaction before we can hopefully figure out how we're getting full live capabilities. But regardless, though, before they shut the lights out on us, tomorrow we're doing kind of a marathon sort of a fan appreciation live stream. As in, folks, you tune in with us live. We're going for a few hours. You won't really be able to miss it, honestly. You chime in with some topics, some questions. We'll talk about what you want us to talk about, whether it be JGI or anything else. Anything you really mean. Well, again, if we're not like 100%, if we haven't seen the thing, obviously we're just going to say, well, we haven't seen this, we've heard things, But by all means, we'll talk about what you want to talk about. We'll shout you out. We'll celebrate the good times, because we love you guys, and we love you guys for loving Just Giggle, and again, giving a crap about us, So it's all very appreciated. We want to kind of express that in our own little way while we still have live capabilities. We can say hello in real time, let's say, It's like hello and thanks, and it's been fun.
Hello.
Yes.
Little Michael Eisner joke there.
Right.
Hello.
Again, that's tomorrow, I guess. Let's just say in the 9 o'clock onward range, let's say.
Yeah, generally speaking, about 9 p.m. Eastern, 6 p.m. Pacific is what you're looking at.
Mm-hmm. So again, hopefully we'll see you folks there, at least as we chime in, kind of shout you out one last time in real time, as it were.
Yep.
Anywho, I guess that does it for now. In the live sense of the word, I'm all emotional now. It's going to be the last time we can say this live. Oh, my goodness. So that's right, folks. That'll do for now until the next exciting reach into the Just Giggle It grab bag.
You hear me, Jesse Eisenberg?